Okay. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone. Give me a few minutes because my chat is not working on stream. I can see you guys, but you guys can't see the chat up here. Uh it's been a while since I used YouTube to stream, so I haven't gotten the right connections for it though. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Uh Today I will be uh doing what I needed to do last week before I got sick with look at lyrical reveals. I see you, Spec. Welcome to the stream. I think it's 6-4. The music will change, but I'm just keeping it on like right now for this. But I'm gonna be switching to YouTube. Okay, let me. Huh, interesting. It's not connected to YouTube. Okay, here we go. Time for 2 hours of White Spec. Was right about Michu. We're gonna discuss Michu today too. We're gonna go over most of the lyrical stuff that topped in the past week. Like 2 weeks ago, I think. Additional permissions. Whoa, wait, what's happening? Whoa. Delete, delete, delete. That's not what I'm trying to do. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me edit settings. Here we go. Here we go. Save it. Michu blessed day. Bless you. Hey, Spec. Hey, bros. Welcome to the stream. Alright. I wonder if this should work now. I wonder if I have to reset it. Oh, it works. There we go. Now, give me one moment so I can set up all of this lighting, because this lighting is a bit of an issue right now. And also, I gotta send this stream off, because I didn't post it anywhere yet. So give me one moment. Okay. Much better. So, welcome. Sorry for the 10-minute delay, everyone. I am very sorry about that, but welcome to the stream. Hopefully everyone has had a very good week. I finally recovered from my sickness after all this time. So today, let me switch the music. Okay, let me switch it. Okay, there we go. So today, go back to here. Okay, so today, I'm going to be going over the lyrical stuff that I should have went over, but I was very sick and I got COVID, so I have to wait until that went over. So I was mostly able to talk. So, but today we're gonna be talking about that stuff that I wanted to talk about. So, just ignore my bed. If you see it, my covers, it is messy right now. So, let me move my mic. Dang, I thought we was gonna start Persona 3. Hey Zex. Nah, I just like using it as the opening. But no, I wanted to talk about Vanguard. It's some I wanted to finish what I did last week or 2 weeks ago, but I didn't get the chance to because I was like really ill. And after that, I want to talk about some stuff with just Vanguard related, honestly. Maybe some CFA after. I do have time for CFA, so okay, I delayed it long enough. It's time that we start getting a move on. Okay. Is this even the right one? No, here we go. It is. Weird, all this stuff shouldn't be here. Hold on. It's fine, it's fine. So, a couple of weeks ago, Dexander posted some lists with Lyrical Monasterio with decks that topped. I did talk about them, but I didn't get to talk about much about them. But today I'm going to be able to, hopefully. So, first off, we have Kyrie. So I want to give a base overview over like what most of these decks do, so we won't be talk about the same cards all the time. So most of the Kyrie builds use her grade 4 to be able to get more than 5 attacks if they play stuff like La Plume. And the base of the deck is to essentially just multi-attack, clear a board, have a good hand size. It's basically a very good a very good mid-range deck that's able to just pressure your opponent from the early turns, especially with the Rye line. Using good cards such as Melty to draw, some of the friend cards as good beaters, and the new card Kyoka, which is essentially a very key component in his deck to be able to bounce Melty back, so you can draw even more. Why here, not Twitch? I'll talk about it after this. After we talk about the whole topping list for Lyrical. But yeah, Kyrie most likely uses either a combination of Melty, Kyoka, her old cards, and some of the friend cards to be able to have well-powered attacks. Yeah, 4 FR Yukas. Who, me? No. I'm not getting 4 FR Yukas. I might get Yukas for premium. Sorry. I might get Yukas for premium, but not for standard. Like, I'll go over some of the other lists that use Kyoka too. So, and this was week 1 of Lyrical, I think. So, this Kyrie list, again, they have. This one doesn't have Kyoka in it, but he's playing the front engine with this one. So essentially, there's like 3 variations. There's a front engine with the new grade 2, I think Roxanne. So essentially, she allows you to bounce another friend unit if you have like 5 or more friends for free. I think when she attacks. No, I think it's like at the end of battle or something. But you essentially get back Melty for no cost if you have 5 friends. So this one is Path on Friends. Ducala allows you to draw. Eileen is a good card to be able to look at the top card of your deck. And of course, you're playing Kyrie because it's a very free card to get more multi-attacks. The grade 2, that's essentially a 20k beater. It's really a really strong combination of cards. So, and then another Kyrie list. So this was more of it's more of a combo variant, I would say. So for this one, this list uses Tesla and more Kyora. So this list, this is just a 9k. That's like if you have 3 or more other rear guards, you can counterbalance one to draw a card when it's on place. You can use this during your battle phase too, with Melty's only main phase. I cannot tell what this card is. That could be Yuka, but I'm not too sure. However, this list runs the Plume to be able to call Kyora from the soul or just an Estasis card. So you get more attacks during Grade 4 Kyrie's turn. And the Hungry Girl. Oh, that's Eileen. Yeah, that's Eileen. Eileen to stack the top card of your deck. The Mouse to be able to put Estasis from your drop zone into the soul. You can counterblast 1 to give her 10k, so she's 23. So this is more of like a combo Estasis variant build because you have Le Plume for extra attacks or just being able to plus in an early game. Yeah, this is also just another variant of Kyrie you can play. This is the second place WGP Nagia list that Different Fight had on his team, I believe. So in this list, like I said, they played 1 Tesla. They played Eileen for the stacking, Yuka, a good card just for Melty, and pretty much for most of the deck, Lapoon for extra combo. But they played the Sapphire, which is just to be able to dig for the deck more and to draw more cards. Which it's an option in the deck. You don't have a Dark Searcher, but if you do get her, I may get the Sapphire. No, get the Ruby. You're able to dig for more cards and have Soul against the Prison matchup. And I forgot her name, but this card, essentially, when your other rear guards return to your hand by a grade 3 or greater with a card effect, you can choose one of your Vanguards and gets 5k. And when this unit's placed by a grade 3 or greater Vanguard card ability, she gets 5k. So she's a 15k attacker, but also Kyora on grade 2 can hit 15k if she's on board. Kyrie hits 23k since you're bouncing 2 other cards, but also she procs as well if she's bounced to hand. Now I could be wrong about this, but I asked a couple of judges. I asked Koro too, and he said it does work, that if you do bounce her in another rear guard, it counts for her in the rear guard too. So they also played fronts in this variation. I think it's just for when they use the grade 4, their front rows have a bit more power. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think having her in like Kyrie is interesting, but I think there's probably better cards that might be played, but I could still see the reason why he played it. And then the other last 2 Kyrie lists. This one is, oh, that's a Weiss promo. Now this one's interesting. They're running, okay, so they're running 2. Oh, okay. So I've never seen this list. So they're running 4 of the FR girl of the one I just talked about, the one that gives Kyrie 10k. They're running 2 Melty, which is weird. They have 3 Yuka, 2 Eileen, and they play this grade 2 right here. This is for the giant Rai line, and essentially this card ability is where your other rear guard is returned by a Vanguard's card ability, I think during the battle phase. You counterboss 1, put this unit into soul, draw a card, and call a grade 3 card from your hand to rear guard circle. So it allows you to get extra attacks with a combination with Little Plume. They're also running the PG that the order PG, but they also played a ghost that gets 5k to a unit like after the battle that she attacks while boosted. She goes into soul, gives a unit 5k to the end of turn. So I guess it's just for more soul usage. I don't really see a lot of soul blasting, but it, like, again, it could be for maybe like the prison matchup or something. But it's an interesting list. And lastly, oh wait, no, that's not it. Here we go. Oh, that was week 2. That's why I didn't see it. And this one is another friend Kyrie list. Again, we got the Demon, grade 2 beater, 4 Melty, Roxanne, I think, Ducala with Yuka, and the grade 1 friend card, and Ducala. So not much to see here. They still run normal PGs, normal lineup. Yeah, so that is all for Kyrie. And as much as I like Kyrie, most of the list has been kind of like the same and not really like different variations, but that's just how it's going to be for a while. Okay, so this was week 1 Clarissa. So Clarissa did get a buff in set 3. They do not run the card in this list, but they play. But there's a card named Jennifer, which I think is in another list, that allows you to use your order from drop if you discard a card, and give your Clarissa essentially the effect of the order. So as long as you have 4 or more units, that can include your Vanguard too. You can play the order from drop. So this was a set 2. This allows you to get your order from drop back to hand if you rest her. This is an order searcher. So when she's a 6k, when an attack she boosted hits a Vanguard, you can retire her and search your deck for an order card to put it to your hand. So you can search for this order, just put it to your hand. And they're playing 2 to split of the counter heals. And another week 1. Wait, is it the same list? It is the same list. Okay. Okay, so next we're going to the one Felty Rosa from week 2. So this should be interesting. Oh. Okay, so Felty from set 3 didn't get much. They got a new grade 2. That's Ghost, which is nice. It's basically like when it's placed by a grade 3 card effect, I meant by a Vanguard with a grade 3 or greater, it gets 10k power to the end of turn. And the other support they got is a Ghost PG. So you can get, now you can discard for the grade 1 or grade 2, and you can get your PG back. Also, it just triggers Felty's skill, so you don't, it just makes it more consistent. So for this list, they're playing Willista for the extra soul. They're playing the Order, Ruby, and Sapphire for extra soul. In Elise, I think, the grade 3 for extra soul. Ingrid is an important combo card. Eleanor is a very good beater. Ernesto is a very good restander. Just to be able to get more attacks and more boosting power. So what you call for Felty Rosa. The triple R from last set allows her to basically call a ghost from drop when she's placed from either Felty or just calling her, and she removes herself when she boosts, after she attacks. This card here is interesting. So she's a ghost, obviously, and her ability is like when she's placed during the battle phase, you can put her in a soul draw card. So I'm assuming the idea here is You call the grade 2 triple R. Call this from soul. I mean from drop. And then you put it into soul to draw a card. So you're essentially plussing the hand for no cost for this. And since you're soul blasting a bunch of ghosts for like Eleanor and yeah, you're just mainly using for Eleanor. You can keep reusing this. Or and using no, not for her. You can keep reusing this essentially. So I like this combination with these 3 cards. And the Ghost PG, of course, and they're playing the grade 1 that allows you to bot deck the ghost that you boosted. So you can bottom deck your Eleanor, bottom deck any ghost that you boost. So Felty Rosa is not a ghost, so you can't put her back to the bottom. But they're playing vanilla heals. They're playing extra draws and not the effect draws, which is interesting. So a very interesting Felty list, and congratulations to them. Now we have Lyrical. This is week 2. So I don't know much about Lyrical, honestly. I know that they did get Lyrical did get some support. You can reuse your set orders. There's a grade 1 that's a grade 2 that's on place. You can counterblast 1, take a card from your order zone to put it in your hand, so you can reuse these and flip up more songs, so you can keep using more songs. So, but other than that, there's not really a lot of cards that Lyrical has received that buffed up the deck, other than like the PG. The order PG. That's pretty much it, I would say. But in this list, they're running the grade 3 that gets 2k for every I think card in your order zone, so she can hit pretty high. She's a grade 3. Of course we have I think Elmer. This card is really good. Get bunch of shield. Of course you have your on attack arcs that you could draw 2, discard 1 if you sung a song. So they play 1 Yuka, which is interesting. They play 1 of Aura, which is the girl that searches the order. And this card right here, I know you can't really see it. So you can Soul Blast 1. If there's a face-up order in your damage zone, you can Soul Blast 1, take it off from your hand, put it into your damage zone, and swap it. So if you damage like any important pieces like this, for example, you can get it back. And everything else is pretty standard. They're not running... I think they're going pure vanilla, except the over trigger, but they went pure vanilla. And they're running only 2 of the counter charger, which is okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Lyrical. So next from set 2, wait, hold on. I think I skipped one. I skipped Fortia. Let me go to Fortia first. So, oh, this is interesting. So Fortia. So Fortia's main gimmick is to have your board full of friends in the friend state, and then she could restand for a discard 1 in a counterblast 1. Set 2, they did get support in the form of Roxanne and another card that can countercharge. So it's like, I think it's Act Soul Blast 2, and then give not Lyrical, Fortia the skill. When she hits a Vanguard, you can countercharge 1. So this list is interesting because they're not running the front lineup, and they're running the Kyrie line with Nanami and Kyora. So they're also playing Yuka, which is a bit weird. I guess it's a bounce back more friends, but then again, if you're in a friend state, you really don't need all of them to be on the board. Melty makes sense. It's a very important key piece. Roxanne, like I said, I explained it. Kyrie, the grade 2 beater, and Ducala for extra draw, and the grade 1 that is a Frankenstein card. So other than that, they're running the front effects. Or they're running 1 of the Order Sentinel, and they're playing Vanilla Heal. So pretty interesting list, but It's been forever since Fortia ever got a top, even if it was a, it's one of the newer ones too, so. Next, my deck, the deck that I really want to be good, and I've been trying to learn to get better with it, is Herminia with Powerful. So in this set, Herminia, I've gotten 2 very strong cards. She has a Lagriel kind of clone, which is the grade 2 right here. So it has 2 effects. You can Soul Blast 1, it's once a turn. Act, Soul Blast 1, you can choose one of your Vanguards to give it 5k. The second effect is auto when it attacks. If you're powerful, you got to be in a powerful state. If your Vanguard's Herminia with grade 3 or greater, you counterblast 2, and you can perform a drive check, and she gets 10,000 power to end of the turn. Same, bro. I just started building it because the art is so nice. Yeah, it's really cheap. If you want to build it, I suggest build it because it's very cheap right now. Put the cat girl in powerful for true power. I mean, I've been really rocking with like Digiforce's one, but I don't even have the cat OT spec. I didn't pull any. But this is a very good card to pressure your opponent, especially since some decks might rush you, and this is a good way to dump CB. Now, the other good card I got, Hermione got, was Meowsta. So her ability is very simple. When she boosts a Herminia Vanguard, I think it's grade 3 or greater Herminia Vanguard. Your Firework gets 2k to the end of turn, and at the end of the battle, you can put it to the bottom deck and counter charge. So with cards like Tidwes and Signe, you can use their skills in the same lane twice on each other, and then make Tidwes on hit even more threatening. You can use her with Herminia in I don't know her name, but she's like the mini Lagre, to essentially get 4 drives in the turn if your opponent gives you the opportunity. And Knowledge is a consistency piece to empty the soul. The Ride line is important because she empties the soul, and they all ride for free, so you keep your pieces. This order is Vibra Symphony. So basically, you if you take a damage this turn, when you use the blitz, your Vanguard is 30,000 power to the end of battle. So it's just a huge shield. So Herminia overall, most lists from week 1 were like this, sort of similarly. I think it's the same list, but they added the counter heals. I don't know if I should build Kyrie as well. I opened like half of the expensive pieces. Kyrie's is only going to get more expensive from here. So it depends on like what cards you have now. If you have the grade 4, I think you're pretty fine. If you have like maybe 2 melties, I think you're fine. But if you're looking to upgrade it from next set, unless you have a lot of money stored for Yukas, which is very needed for the deck, I don't think you should build 2 grade 4, 2 melty, 3 Aline. I think you should prioritize getting 2 more grade 4 if you want to. I think that's the route that you should go for Kyrie. 3 Eileen is pretty good too. 2 melty is okay. Ideally you want 4, but I think 2 is okay because we do have extra substitutes. So that was the second Herminia. Okay, so this one doesn't play Tidwes, but this one plays this grade 2 right here. So it's a common. It's not really that strong or important. So basically all it does is when you're in a powerful state, when it attacks the Vanguard, it gets 5,000 power to the end of battle. So it's a 50k attacker. And this list plays Eileen, which is okay. It makes your oh, this list does play Therese. I'm dumb. She helps you stack more triggers on top of your deck, so you have 2 drive checkers, so she becomes more threatening on rigor, surplus, and booster. And they play one sweet card suite just to be able to search out like any of these important pieces for you to be able to close out the game. So now we're on Medio. So now we're on set 3. So Medio, her gimmick is that she reveals the top card of the deck, and if it's a normal unit, you can add it to hand and call a unit from drop zone, and I believe you give it a crit, or if it's a trigger unit, you can put it back on top of the deck, call a unit from drop, and you countercharge one. But she costs CB2. So the whole point of the deck is to manipulate the top card of your deck to be able to get whatever you want. So if you want a trigger to pressure to close out the game, you can do that. Or if you want a plus, you can do that as well. Like adding the card you want to hand, or manipulating your drop zone or the top deck to add like a PG or a more shield to your hand. So the important pieces is this grade 1, which she reduces your Medio's effect to only a counter boss 1, which is really strong. You have to soul blast 2 though, and your restander. If she's placed by Medio as your Vanguard, you can essentially call her, and at the end of the battle that your Medio attacked, she can restand for Soul Boss 1, which is very strong. I will only say that this deck does kind of struggle like trying to close out games, just because most of your deck can be set up and not a lot of pressure. But I believe next set we should get more pressuring cards and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that was the only Medio. There was another Medio top, but I can't look at it. Alright, we have Michu. So, Spec, if you're in chat, I'm finally on Michu. Best girl to you. So for Michu, the whole point of Michu is essentially the whole point of Michu is to get her cannonballs, which is orders, into your order zone, and you can essentially get an extra Vanguard attack with her grade 1 named Nukino. Now this list is a very bad example of how not to build Michu, so let me go to the next one. Here's a more consistent one. I know you can't really see the cards because of the glare, but so on your first turn you're gonna put this order in your order zone. Then after that, most of your cards benefit from having this in your order zone, so you only need one. This card gains shield, so she's a 13k attacker and a 10k shield. This card, she's a 50k attacker if you have the grade 1. And if you hit, you can choose a cannonball order, which is usually your grade 3. You can soul blast 1 and put it into your order zone, because a cannonball effect is well, to play the card from your hand, you have to counter blast 1, and then you draw a card once it's placed. So you can bypass the counter blast effect by getting this to hit, and you can soul blast 1 to draw, which is very strong. And then her other effect is you can change by removing this from your order zone, you can change your Michu's effect to soul blast 2, give 3 units 10k. So it allows your Nukino to hit numbers, hit 18k, and your other rear guards to hit bigger numbers. But Michu also has 2 effects, which is really good. Her first one is act, you counter blast 1. I think you draw a card and call a card. So you essentially plus 1. And then her second effect is when she attacks, you can soul blast 2. She gets 5k until the end of turn, and you can pop a opponent's rear guard. So finally Lyrical can actually say retire opponent's rear guard. So it's 1, but it's still pretty strong. This card here, after when she boosts a unit that hits a Vanguard, she can retire herself to look at sorry, you look at the top I think 5 cards of your deck, and you can add a cannonball or a glitter card to your hand. If you do, she goes back to your bottom deck. So a good consistency card. this card essentially is it's a grade 2. When it's retired during your turn, when it's discarded during your turn, you can put it in the soul. So I'm assuming it's for Nukino, Uriah Line, to add more soul. It's a pretty good card. So they're running the effect triggers for the crits because you want cards in your soul. Crits, vanilla heals, and the effect draws. So Michu is actually like, I actually think Michu's a very good deck. Then again, I just suck with it. I haven't played with it as much, but I think she's very strong in the format that we're in. Because of Nukino being a grade 1, your opponent's effect triggers go off. It's an extra Vanguard attack you could do on, once your opponent's at grade 3. But also, Michu doesn't need to buy Yukas to be good. You have good amount of pressure. Like, other than, like, Nukino is just a card that it's a self-fulfilling card that you can just discard it for Ryline and stuff and just call it back out. This is good shield and is a good attacker. This is a good pressure unit that your opponent has to guard. And like I said, the Cannonball draws, Michu draws, so you can cycle through your deck more. And this order gives 10k, so this automatically is hitting 25k. She's great right out the set. Exactly. Also, another plus is you don't need any previous support to build Michu. You just need to buy the set, and you're set, and you're pretty much good. Because we got reprints of the OT, and we got PGs in this set. I'm not sure they added new heals, but you know, you can play this a vanilla lineup. Yeah, I think you still do pretty well. So, and I believe, yeah. So, Hazlet. So, Hazlet here, her whole game plan is that you can choose all of your rear guards, and they get the effect. The effect heals in the set. Yep, the effect heals are in the set too. Which I do recommend playing the effect heals. Sorry, now I'm talking a lot, so I'm glad to be back to streaming. So Hazlet, like I said, her game plan is to choose her rear guards. At the end of the battle, that they tacked a Vanguard, I believe. Excuse me. They could go back to the bottom of your deck and you draw a card. So that's her whole gimmick. But her triple R support, so you can put a card from hand into your soul, I believe, when it's placed during main phase, I think. So once you do that, you can look at the top amount of cards in your deck. I think it's like 5. I think it's 7. It's probably 5 for a card that's like, I think it. So basically, the grade 2 looks for cards that aren't 8k, 10k, 13k by normal base power. So this card looks for like weird number grades. So from the first set, we had cards that are like 7k base, 12k base. But since Hazlet gives all your rear guards like 2k power, it essentially just makes them hit those numbers, and plus with those powerful effects. So this card allows you to call those cards. This card was from set 1. When it's placed, you can counterboss 1. You can search your deck for her, which she states if you have 3 or more other rear guards, she gets 5k. With Hazlet, she becomes 14k booster attacker. And the good thing about this deck also is that they have another grade 1, which is, I forgot her name, but she essentially is, at the end of the battle, that she boosted. You could choose a center row rear guard, the center rear guard behind Vanguard, essentially, and move it to the front row. I believe for Soul Blast too. So you can essentially call something like Kathleen, which is basically just a 20k beater, in the back row behind Hazlet, and then when you regards like hers put to your bottom deck, you use her effect and move that card to where she was at. So it's you get 4 attacks, but also you upkeep your hand a lot. And you have cards like, if you play Yuka, you can just essentially plus really hard, or any other cards that you like. So I won't go over all these cards, but I think like these 2 are the major ones because it's the triple R double R, and this card is pretty good too. So essentially when your other regards put to the bottom of your deck, you can Soul Blast 1 and she gets 10k power. It has to be during your battle phase, and it's only once a turn. Then if she hits a Vanguard, you can put her to the bottom of your deck and you can draw a card to countercharge 1. So if it hits with Hazlet, you essentially get a +1 and you countercharge. So it's a very good pressuring rear guard that you want to have. And since she makes her 10k, you're hitting numbers, so she would be a 20k attacker. Also, when it comes to Hazlet's skill, when after the unit attacks, to draw a card, it is not required for you to put that unit to the bottom of the deck. So it's not like if this unit is put to the bottom of the deck, then draw a card. It just says put this unit at the bottom of the deck, draw a card. So it's 2 separate like conditions. So if anything happens to that rigor, like put it into the soul, you can still draw the card because the condition is just it's an effect of Hazlet. You return it to the deck, but even if it's like return to hand, you still draw a card. So it's not like to draw a card you need to put it to the bottom of the deck. So I think Hazlet is also a very good contender. So another list, this one has Yuka. So the idea is to use Hazlet, call something in front of it. No. You call yourself first, Hazlet, and then Yuka, for example, will like bounce her back to hand, and then you draw a card from Hazlet's effect. So you keep the card and you draw a card, so it's a +1 to hand, and this card is never lost. But this card's effect is basically, it was a TD card. Essentially, you can when it's placed on Vanguard circle, counterboss 1, it gets 10,000 power to the end of the turn, and with that effect, it's an 18k attacker, but under Hazlet, it's a 20k attacker. For a counterboss 1, I guess it's okay, especially on turn 2. Sorry, I'm eating ice. And there's a new Hazlet list, and we can see this one. So this one has Kafli, very good card from the TD. This one was a grade 2 that when it's discarded during your turn, you can put it in the soul. Again, the triple R, that grade 2 I talked about with the on-hit pressure. Yuka is very important, and I think there's a, like, I'll talk about it at the end of this, but this plays Yuka, this plays the order PG, the double R that gives you extra attacks. It's a pretty solid list, so yeah, it's a pretty solid list. Okay, so now we have Kyoka. So Kyoka, one of the lines I was really interested in. I'll probably still get her. So Kyoka's whole thing is that she has a magazine order. So the order's effect is, if you have Kyoka on your Vanguard circle, it can be the Ryline Kyoka. So you play it, and you do effects based on the grade of the units on your field. So you have 2 grade 3 units, you countercharge 1. If you have 2 grade 2 units, you can choose any unit and give it 10k. And you have 2 grade 1 units, you can draw 2 cards and discard a card. So it's completely free, by the way. You just have to discard it to play it. So the whole point of her is that she wants you to use this order. But Kyoka herself, she has 2 abilities. continuous. If you've used the order this turn, the magazine promo specifically, she gets 5k. Your front row gets 5k. And the second effect is you can soul boss 1. You declare a grade, which is kind of like her Rylines thingy. So you declare a grade. So let's say I declare a grade 2. You look at the top 5 and you call that card. And that's essentially it. You get +1 to field. So there are cards that help you reuse the order and stack the top part of your deck to call cards. And her triple R, which is a Archie, she has 2 effects. If you used the magazine order this turn, she gets 5k power continuously. Then at the end of the battle, that your grade 3 Kyoka attacked, you play a magazine this turn, and your opponent's gotta be grade 3 or greater, I think. You count boss 1, soul boss 1 to stand this unit. So essentially, the whole win con this deck have 2 Archie, use your order, Persona Ride, and do Mordred. That's essentially it. Everything else helps with consistency, getting the orders, getting Archie back to field, drawing, surviving. Anything else is fair game. But I will say, Grandma Kyoka's not good. Play Ballista. You want more soul. Like, you can play Ruby. It's not an egg because you essentially get it back with your order if you have 2 grade 3s. There's other cards you can try too with this, but just don't run a grade 1 Kyoka. I don't think it's that good. So that's week 1. So here's week 2 Kyoka. So in this list, they run the Yuka Melty package. It is very hard to see. They have Archie. Oh, okay, so this grade 3. She has 1 ability. So if you use an order this turn, she gains boost. So it's to get the counter charge effect for the magazine. So actually, I didn't talk about it before. Let me go back to the other Kyoka list. All right, so this card right here, the Dark Elf, if you can see my mouse right here. Her name is Jennifer. And I think I explained it before, but if you have 4 or more units on your board, you can discard a card and choose an order for your drop zone. And you can play the effect even though it's not in your hand. But you still have to pay the costs. And once it's over, I think at the end of your turn, you put it to your bottom of the deck. So you recycle your deck, but also you're able to use an order from your drop zone. So she helps also with consistency of using orders from drop zone. And I really like this card because she essentially acts like a second hand when you need to use an order. So she's in the list because you can see her. Again, order shows up just to get the magazine promo. I keep calling it magazine promo. The magazine order. And we have the heals, split heals, the crits, more crits, and draws. And yeah. Oh, no, not yet. Okay. And the last Kyoka list, I think this is week 2. Yep, so this one's pretty standard. Oh, this is max rarity. This max rarity Kyoka. Okay, so they're running of course they're running the base staple stuff. They're running Yukina with Melty for the hand draw. They're running Jennifer for the extra consistency, and the grade 2 that draws, and I mean that goes into soul when you discard it. So this could be used. And if I get monetized on YouTube, we'll see. Well, I don't got that much money. And lastly, we have Leticia. So I wish I could zoom in. Let me see. Okay, this is a way better one. But this is max rarity. See, this is what happens when you have too much money and you simp over a card. So, Leticia. This deck focuses on getting these cursed plays into your soul. So, on YouTube, I made a couple videos on her. Because this is my favorite deck out of it. Looks at flexing Anj. Anj is different, okay? Anj is not Leticia. But the whole goal of this deck is to get your cursed plays into Soul. And if you have 4 or more, she can restand. So there's one order that essentially says if you have Leticia as your Vanguard, you can Soul Charge 1, put this unit into Soul, and you can call a card that's same as your Vanguard grade or lower, and it gets 5k power. And the other one is a Bliss order. You use the effect, you put it into Soul, your Vanguard gets 50k power to the end of battle. Then you have 4 or more cursed plays in your Soul, you can draw a card. So essentially a free 50k shield. There's Anj Leticia. Leticia is better. Leticia is new, okay? Oh, she's new, okay? So essentially that's what all you really want to do with the deck. Leticia herself is very generic in a sort of sense. Her first effect is if you played an order this turn, she gets 5k, so she hits 18k. If you played any order, it doesn't have to be a cursed play. Then her second effect is, which is really good, when it attacks, Kalmas 1. You do based on how many cursed plays are in your Soul. If you have 2 in your Soul, you draw a card, which is good, it's a +1. Then, if you have 4 or more, you discard a card to restand. So, essentially, she can be a free restand. If you have 4 or more. You just swing twice for a Kalmas 1. So, then her grade 2, Ruka. It's essentially the Rent-A-Girlfriend girl. She has 2 abilities. So she's very important for the deck because she's able to no it's not, it is. She essentially is when placed, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put a card into your Soul, and put the rest at the bottom. Alright, that doesn't really plus you, but it allows you to get your cursed cards into Soul and filter your deck. The second ability is when it attacks, I think it's just when it attacks. If you have 2 or more cursed plays in your Soul, she gets 5k. If you have 4 or more, she gets 15k. She's a 25k attacker, so she's massive. And that's how you can speed up your cursed plays into Soul. Again, order is here just to search your cursed plays, your orders. She's pretty interesting, but there's a bunch of other cards I like to play over her. And then this person plays a combination of Melty, Yuka. Yuka. Melty is not really necessary in the deck. But I have to say, out of all the testing I did, even though I don't want to add this card in the deck, you kind of need Yuka in the deck just because she has too many uses. And if you don't have her in the deck, you're not getting enough cards to essentially maintain and sustain the deck. Like, you can play without Yuka, is a bit slower, but in Overjustice metagame, if you're not playing cards that like benefit the deck significantly, you're not really gonna win. So you kind of have to pay for Yuka in this deck, and that's also like the downside of this deck. Honestly, is playing. You have to play Yuka. So some other Leticia lists. Let me see. Okay, so this one, of course, they play the staple cards. They play Meredith. So she was a card from set 2. When she hits a Vanguard, it's a grade 2, 10k. You look at the top 7 and add an order to hand, and you shuffle. That's pretty much it. It's consistency pressure thing. She's not bad, honestly, from the list I tested with Bushy like maybe a month ago. Then this card right here, this little double, she's really good because it's on place if you have a grade 3 Leticia, so you can't use this on grade 2. You count boss 1. Choose a cursed play from your drop zone, add it to hand. So she allows you to cycle through your orders. So if you want to use Cursed Sparkle again, you can. If you want to use another blitz to draw and survive your opponent's turn, you can. Yuka also allows you to take out those cards from your soul if you have extra amount. Or if you're just stuck on 3, but knowing next turn you can get to 4, you can Soul Blast one of them out and do it too. There's also Grade 2 that allows you to Soul Blast out the cursed plays, and you can get back to your hand thanks to this. Or you can use it with Jennifer, which I just like those combination of cards. That's the same list. Alright, here's another one. You cannot really see that one. And cannot zoom up on that one. So this is a week 2 list. This one is okay, so this card right here, the mermaid. I know I'm blocking it, but this mermaid right here. They play 1 Yuka. She is really good because she does 2 things. Well, she does multiple things, but she only has 1 ability. So she has Act. If you have 2 or more cursed plays in your soul, you can Soul Blast 1 and get 10,000 power to the end of turn. So she does a lot of things. 1, you're able to get cursed plays out of your soul. So you can use, like I said, you can use her, the devil, to get your cards out of your, to get it from your drop zone so you can use it again. Or just to get it for next turn. 2, this is not grade 3 locked or battle phase locked. So this is main phase. So if you already use like her Sparkle and you have like 3 in your soul, if you soul charge like the Blitz, you could probably get the Blitz for your soul. And you can probably get the Blitz for your soul as set up for next turn. Or if you have Jennifer, it works well with Jennifer because Jennifer's main phase. 3, she has 20k. This is like the easiest 20k other than what's her name? Other than Kathleen, right? From the TD. This is like the easiest 20k I've ever seen. Like, you can very easily get 2 on your turn 2. It is that easy. Like, yeah, Meredith is on hit, but if you play her on your turn 2 and get 1 in your soul, and you essentially search 1 from deck, or just draw into 2, you can easily get a 20k beater on turn 2, which is very strong. And yeah, I mean, I think it's just a really good card, honestly, for the deck. And that was week 2, and this is the newest one. And yeah, so this is pretty much the same thing. It's from the guy who maxed rarity out before. So they're playing fronts because you can deck yourself out. They're playing Yukas. They're not playing Melty like they did before. But this list is pretty solid, I will say. Bro, it's blinged out. It is. Like, it's max rarity, I think. They got the FRs. Yeah, I think this is max rarity. But other than that, this list is pretty solid. This will probably be a list I would play, honestly. Like, I've tried other... Excuse me. I tried other cards in the past. I'll keep testing more. But this will probably be a list that I'll probably take one day. And... yeah. That's all of the... that's what I wanted to do, like, 2 weeks ago. This stream is gonna be 3 hours, so... I'm gonna go extra today. So overall, I think set 3 is really good. Only Yuka is the problem, which is a $50 card. But other than that, I'm very happy with the set. 7-hour stream. No. Not unless I'm doing like a marathon or something. One day I'll probably go like above 3. But today is not the day I go 7. Spec. Oh, bro, it's your question. Why I'm switching to YouTube? I'm not liking Twitch, honestly. Like, sure, I've been streaming there for a while, but I don't think, like, in the long run it's gonna help me. like grow my YouTube channel as much. The only thing I do miss is like the emotes, even though like you guys technically have free emotes on your phones and stuff, but I'm just gonna try YouTube, see how well that works out. Especially when I do more testy streams. Besides, I can always leave the bot up and people could come and watch the stream, and I don't have to edit it and try to chop it up into videos that nobody really watches other than a couple of people like you guys. So I just prefer it like this, so just to see how it goes, and also to increase my watch time. So anyway, we are finally done with the Bermuda stuff. I meant the lyrical stuff. Now I want to get through it. I'm just checking. Let me restart it. Maybe I can change the song. I'm trying to play songs that are not copyrighted. I'll probably just leave this up for now. I'll probably look up what other cars aren't going to be copyrighted. So, excuse me. I'm still recovering, but I think I'm mostly like over it now. So, hey Cora, Kyoka. Welcome to the stream. I just got done with the lyrical segment, but now talk about stuff y'all really want to talk about. The ban list. So English is getting their ban list tomorrow, which I was not expecting. I woke up like at I think 3 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, I guess the ban list is going to be tomorrow. So I'm kind of glad because Ripples and MFD need to go. For one in premium, I really don't like those cards. My issue is I don't know why they made Odysseus come back if they knew it was going to print another Ripple card with Excel. But personally, for what I want on the list, I'll go over each format and you guys can just say what you want to say. So for standard, they're not going to hit anything. I mean, there's nothing to hit in standard right now. Nothing's like consistently topping over there. There's just a couple of strong decks and that's it. So I don't believe anything needs to be hit in standard, but I do think they need to watch out for Kyrie and I guess Nirvana. I guess they said that was on the watch list, but Kyrie, I definitely can see them still keep an eye on because they just got a very good consistency card. Gravidia. Gravidia could be hit in English just because how many tops it has, but I think they're gonna wait and see what happens with set 6 drops, because I know there's not a lot of decks that are meta defining as set 6, unless I'm completely wrong that there are a couple, but I just know that like it will come around soon. And just not there, I don't believe there was a lot of Gravidia like now in JP. Like you see it here and there, but it's not as played as like some of the other top decks. So plus I think the amount of support other decks are getting and the low amount of support Gravidia is going to be receiving, the deck is going slower and slower in power. So I don't think Gravidia will be hit, but if they do hit Gravidia EN, probably removing the World Order from her Rye line, I guess, if you have Gravidia in the main deck, or something like that, or just limiting the Burrito to not get crit or Rigor Circle, I guess. That's the only thing I can see them doing for standard, maybe. So for V, V. For one, we gotta do something about Percival. I know everyone's talking about Steam mating, but that's just the stupid ban, all right? The dumb ban man orchestra dude is just making a garbage trick, bruh. But we still gotta deal with Percival. I'm not letting Percival go off the list. Just choice it with Gurgit again, and we're all fine. I believe we are all fine because Gurgit doesn't get Percival back again. So I said the band, the orchestra guy, Colossus. Sorry, Colossus. Steve Manning first, Percival, Q-Tire, and Navigator after. I feel like, okay, so we'll talk about this. So Percival makes sense. Steve Maiden, a lot of people are saying it's the +2 girl. Now, I'll compare this to Prism, right? Prism and, okay, Prism and Steve Maiden are sort of similar in some aspects, that they both plus a lot. They both multi-attack for bind zone. The difference between Steam Main is that they won't have the blanket guard restrict, which that's infinitely better than Prism's just grinding you down. But also they have a grade 2 that's similar to Rosa that just kind of allows you to plus multiple times in a turn. And if your opponent doesn't remove it, it's going to keep plussing. Rosa wasn't like that because she will always like stay on the field as an intercept, but they can always just rebound Rosa. It's kind of like that same aspect because Rosa's a +2, but the possibility with that grade 2 could be a +3. But it's always a +2. That's the issue. Rosa was at most a possibility of a +2. So their plussing is a bit different, but Prism's was a lot more versatile. C-Main's attack is a lot more. Under the Colossus effect is ridiculous. So Steam Maiden, I believe if they hit the blanket guard restrict, the pokes don't really matter as much because yeah, they'll attack a lot, but decks that have like decent defense that can use one card guards like Bermuda, for example, or like Ghosties that topped. I don't think is that much of an issue if they get the plussing, but if it's still like a top tier deck after that and it's still like Prism levels again, then they will just hit the grade 2, I guess. Now you said Q-Tire. I think Q-Tire just needs to be to 1 or just removed. No, I don't know, just to 1. Like right now she's not an issue because a lot of the decks, okay, Spec, a lot of the decks in V are a lot more aggressive, and Anj is just naturally a slow deck. Like there's nothing you can do to increase the speed of Anj other than just like forcing your deck to be very aggro. That's the only way you're going to be able to make it faster. It's like forcing a bunch of cards to make it aggro. The card itself is just inherently slow. In Q-Tire, yes, it's very strong if the opponent and the player knows what they're doing. But it's also very weak to going second. And also decks have a massive amounts of aggression on their first grade 3 ride. So like Raging Form. What was that? That could have just been my eyes. I'm sorry. I thought I saw like a butterfly in my room. Anyway, decks have like a lot of aggression going first on their grade 3 turn. Can empty your hand. Don't have any normal units. You gotta call Q-Tire for your deck to start plussing, and then they'll just swing it to or remove it. So I can understand them just hitting it to 1. So you could still use a reindeer. And if you search it out with Anj, your opponent knows I have to kill it because there's no way that you can get it back once it's gone. Or just be like, Percival will sack the 1 of it. But at that point, they'll probably just choice it. Okay, thanks for the stream. No problem. Thank you for listening this long. I really appreciate it. Have a good day. But overall, they can hit Q-Tire to 1. And if you hit your 1 of, you hit your 1 of. But the deck is just inherently slow. But like from most of the lists I've seen, they play like 2 to 3. So your plussing is immensely like cut. if that happens. And Navigator, to Lord on the speed of Night Rose, yeah, because JP was looking at Beatrice for V. I think it was, they said Gurgit, Percival and Beatrice, which was, I mean, I guess it makes sense because they don't really, like, they know about the Beatrice combo with Skull Dragon. But I guess I just want to hit the source of the problem rather than just hit the consistency of it, because you can still do it. So I guess all of those are fair points though, I would say. But anything else for V I'd like to see? Hope on Damp can go. I don't like Hope on Damp. It's been like, it's a blanket garbage shit that your opponent can hardly get out of. Even though Shara's not topping, they still hit like hard leg and flanger, even though flanger didn't do anything, because they had the foresight to hit it before it got ridiculous later. So other than that, I think V is okay after that. But definitely Steam Maiden needs to lose Colossus. Percival cannot be with Gurgit, please. I did not play, they'll tell me I didn't play Gurgit just so that Percival could dodge the list again, because Steam Maiden came out of nowhere. I think, even so, I'm not even sure they will even hit Steam Maiden. Like, they see the results, but I'm not sure if they will hit it. But I like to see them hit Colossus first and then go on their way. So next, Premium. Ah, yes, the Proud Child Premium, as always. Odysseus is going to be banned, of course. MFD is going to be banned. Other cards that need to be hit. A lot of people are talking about Exterminate. Something with Narukami. Because Narukami... Hey, Orange, welcome to the stream. I'm not sure if he was here the whole time. Oh, you don't have sound? Oh. Welcome to the stream, Orange. I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. But yeah, I think they need to do something about Narukami. I don't know what they'll do. I don't know what the correct choice is, because we have two sides: either banning Stunverse or banning Exterminate. You can't ban both of them, because that would just make Narukami like losing what they mostly got. Put headphones on, yeah. So just ban Exterminate. Yeah, like I'm like really conflicted. Like, I understand both camps of wanting to hit Exterminate and hitting better load off my Narukami Jizo. Excuse me. So, like, Exterminate with Sweet Command is just really, really strong. Like, the fact that Sweet removes your opponent's front row unless they play Resist or can't be chosen, and then you just stride Exterminate. Okay, if you're playing Excel, let me give 30k to the front row. Cost of restanders. Alright. Okay, you clear my board? Nope, GG. Or, just having a 20k is already backbreaking, because that's like 4 cards out of your hand. Or at least a minimum of 2. And then you're adding cards like Choho and the Gray 4 from Overdress to restand, on top of Narukami already like having a very decent early game. And like I said, like what Ty said with Sweet Command is just a very strong card to be able to just remove the front row, defensive plays, also gaining an extra Excel gift, so you're getting more attacks, so your front row gets extra power. Well, like 2 to 3 restanders, your opponent is not going to survive the first stride. Ban the whole Jizo. No, we can't ban the whole Jizo, Roach. I'm sorry, we can't do that. So, we buy Narukami. So, like, that's like the issue that I'm like. That's just a very strong combination with just Sweep Command and Exterminate, which I'm surprised a lot of people just ban a clan. We can't ban Narukami. As much as people would like to ban clans, we can't ban a clan, alright? Like, I think it was a very underrated, like, combo of Sweet Command plus Exterminate. Because everyone was looking at, oh, Sunburst was Value Sword, but it's too slow in this meta right now because we have Ripples and MFD. But even later on, I still think it's too slow. Now, Stunverse, people still want Stunverse to get hit or banned or limited. I'm at the camp that Stunverse should just be at 1. Because the first Stunverse is dealable. It's the second and third one that kills you. It's never the first one. It's never the first one. So people can play around Stunverse, but they cannot play around Exterminate and Stunverse, as well as like having Exterminate, Stunverse, and then Sweep with whatever other Narukami cards you want to play. It is just like your opponent cannot counter it, no matter what they do. They're always going to get countered. I think Exterminate is will be enough. Stunverse is annoying, but less of an issue. Yeah, Stunverse is like, it's a turn 5 card, like to start doing its stuff. But yeah, you can combine Stunverse with Vanquisher to pressure, but it's never the first Stunverse that kills you. It's the second one, which I agree that it's a problem after the second one. Exterminate is just strong. When you just first stride it, it does everything at full power. There's no like stalling. There's no like second stride you have to do. You just sweep, Exterminate, or ride Exterminate, call Resanders, and you win the game. So, excuse me. So for other decks at premium, after Bushiroad somehow deals with those 3, if at all, Narukami. We still have what was, I think it was, I don't even know what was top at the time. I know it wasn't Nightmare Dolls. A lot of people talk about Bermuda with, I guess the reindeer tops, and people are talking about Q-Tire. At this point, I feel like, unless, okay, when Martoa comes out, they have to deal with it. They have to either errata her to be hard once a turn. Banning Martoa is just killing a lot of decks, honestly. Like, yeah, you can axe Martoa, but like there are some decks that really want Martoa. You can just make it a hard once a turn, and that will solve the issue. Q-Tire? Obliterate Q-Tire? Okay, look. Ever since Heltrata dropped, what pure Highlander list that only focus on Q-Tire topped? There hasn't been any. Maybe one. But I haven't seen any lists, because I think like playing the Q-Tire version is probably very optimal, very strong. But I think in the metagame right now, everything is too fast. It hits your hand so hard, especially if you're going first with the Q-Tire version. You don't have that reindeer pressure, which more people are adopting, like the reindeer ride down, I guess, and playing reindeer to have that great 3 turn to push your opponent, so they have little hand for when they go on their stride turn. Yeah, if the metal slows down, it'll be a problem. But here's the thing, I don't think it'll ever slow down. We have stuff like Spikes. We have Steam Maidens, both the ride down and pure. There's a lot of aggressive decks. Really, what? Yeah, there really wasn't much time to with the V-Clutch Ripple. Yeah, I don't think there was really much time to actually allow it to develop in that time. Sorry. So I think just in premium, there's a lot of aggressive decks that the Q-Tie version is too slow. Like back when it was in Doll meta, it took second stride. And with Ghidorah, right? Ghidorah was a control deck, and Highlander was able to combat it because it was a slower deck. Even though it did have a grade 2 game and stuff, Highlander wasn't that affected by it until they started like writing, you know, the book. I mean, writing Ruination with the book and stuff like that. But Highlander can guard against that if you play it optimally well enough. But the meta is a lot faster now. Decks are a lot more aggressive on their turn 3 and their first stride because Premium Collection allowed us to do that. So it makes sense that people start to adopt into more decks that are faster. So Q-Tire is a problem, but I feel like once, Ripples and MFD and maybe like Narukami's like hit in sort of way, I don't think she will be an issue because the meta is so fast. Other cards, people still are talking about Hope on Damp, I guess, but I'm not sure if DI's doing anything right now. I think Gramblers is too slow in this meta now. Like, Mega Colony is still a decent deck, and they can still run into a Mega Colony player in this fold. Unless you're orange playing Bilber and just killing your opponent, but I don't think Grand Blue needs any hits right now. They can look into like hitting Navigator just so that what's his face, the Scare deck doesn't come and just ruin the meta. Yes, they do. It just what hit Navigator or hit? You mean other decks? Because I'm not sure. Oh, Navigator. I feel like this is just me. I feel like something is Spikes is gonna break one day. Like we got that cat, and I don't know what that cat is gonna do, but I think something's gonna happen. It Spikes with Rising Nova with that cat. And I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but one day it's gonna open a can of worms that we're gonna go back to like a Blade Master meta or a Gastiel type of thing, but not yet. I think that's really it for premium, honestly. I don't really know what it can do to hit it. I mean, like, make the format like less high rolly. Mainly it's just been Mystery Flare Dragon and Ripples and Narukami. I guess they can. Oh, what you miss? I'm just talking about premium hits right now. Already talked about V. I could go quick review. Except for standard, maybe Gravidia. Either hitting the World Order line thing or the burrito. For V, the Colossus gets axed. Percival's not with Gurga anymore. Q-Tire to 1 maybe. And HomePod Damp Band. That's all I said for V. And for premium, of course, Mystery Flare Ripple's getting banned. Something to Narukami. I don't know what. Something. And they won't do anything to Martoa because the card's not out yet. But I will light Errata for the card to be hard once a turn. And they might do something to Hope on Damn, but I'm not sure. Other than that, like, I'm not sure what other premium decks are issued. Oh, Navigator, man. Forgot about that. Just banner premium. No! Look, that is the only card that allows me to do anything in Anj, bruh. Like, Anj in premium is actually a deck thanks to Martoa, and you're gonna ban it because of a loop. Just errata the card. All I need to do is call 1. And then my opponent calls a normal unit. Thanks. Now let me bounce it back so I can attack more. That's like the only card. Errata is bad. It is bad. Or they could just ban, you know, not Martoa. They could ban Akari. They could ban the card that just puts cards back into deck. Bans over Errata. True. Oh, also OT. OT could leave. I forgot about that. OT could leave. Actually, speaking of OT, I wanted to Orange, if you saw a stream, I didn't get to read your Twitter post about the OT. So I wanted to give my opinions, not on this, just on my feelings of the OT overall. I know everyone else has been talking about it, but you know, I was sick and stuff, so I didn't really get the chance to read it. But I definitely wanted to like go over and read it. So, it's not that long, so I guess we go over. So, if you guys already read it, sorry. I'm just gonna skim over it, and I'll just read my thoughts aloud. You know, we love OT. There's nothing on the line. Yeah. Actually, let me see. I read some of it. I think. Let me see. I faced a new player round 2 was their first event. They recently got introduced. No one felt very new about Vanguard guarding, putting power. Oh. Because they're so new to the game, there was a clear difference in player skills. So like there was. Okay, I lost the game. Oh, because he hit LT, a defensive LT. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I skimmed over it. I'll leave it right here. So, I can understand. So here's my thoughts on Over Trigger. Like, just overall. Like, or subs exactly what I've lost in any all join from D. Like, I understand. Like, spending money to travel to an event just to lose to the OT is like the worst feeling ever. And I can understand that. Like, I never traveled, but the thought of me spending money and playing standard, like, it premium, like, they could just ban OT, but it's standard where the format is here. I mean, when it's the format that people are going to be playing, new players. I don't like the OT. So, like, from the plethora of reasons people say OT is bad. Like, the OT, like, even casually, it could still be very triggering. Because, like, when I play test with my friends, right? Whenever I check the OT, I'm very surprised, and I do feel bad for checking it. I'm gonna say. I see. Like, even just playing casually with my friends, the OT, like, whenever it's checked, or I have a feeling it's going to be checked, it just feels bad. Because the power is outrageous. Whatever effect happens is just outrageous as well. It doesn't matter. Like, it's a it's a one card in anybody's deck that if it's checked offensively or defensively, it can drastically change the game or not. But most of the time it changes the game. Excuse me. And it's just I think it's just a bad card to have in the game. And it's not even just the card itself, it's also the mentality and how the community has been feeling about the Overtrigger ever since, like, it came out. Like, either people who don't play standard, like Bras, he tried playing standard, he can't anymore because of the OT. It's a bad mechanic in the game. that is, it's mentally draining to people who want to play the game competitively and to spread joy of the game, or even to new players. But when that OT is checked, unless the new player doesn't care, a lot of the people who want to spread the joy of Vanguard and the love of Vanguard have to deal with this mechanic keep over and over and over, messing up the chance of them spreading this joy to everyone. Or even to people who want to play Vanguard, but oh no, so I'm not playing a game that's the Saki 1-up trigger that you can't do anything about. Or just even playing casually, you can do a no man's agreement to have not the over trigger. But most people would just play with the over trigger anyway. Competitively, no one would not play the over trigger. It's an unfair mechanic. It's a busted mechanic to have. And it is just sad that, like, the mechanic is just really, really hurting people's mentality and staying in standard. Like, so many people don't want to play standard because of the OT, and that should not be the case. Like, I didn't play standard not because of the OT, just because I didn't really find a deck that clicked with me. But since I'm playing standard more and more now, I start to understand why people do not like the over trigger in standard, or just overall. Like, in premium, you can axe it. That does not change the format whatsoever. Sure, like, a couple interactions go away, but the toxicity of the over trigger in the format, and you seeing it more, is less impactful in premium. People do a gentleman's agreement with the OT and Q4 does not. Yeah, I'm not saying that people will. I'm just saying overall, like, this OT being in a game and how it's grown over the year of standard that's been out is getting worse and worse. And people who enter the game, I want to play it, and then they either lose the OT or they win because of it, or other people like win with the OT or not. It depends on the person how they feel, but a lot of people have been growing to dislike the OT. Was that just from Puzzle Scene defending the OT? You can't defend the OT. I can understand if it's like, oh, it's a fun hee-ha moment, but I want the overtrigger gone so the community can grow. Like, I don't want people like with this experience Orange had, right? There was a new player. Imagine if the new player like went to the locals and they just got OT'd every round. Like, it's just a fun tournament. It's not anything serious. They're just playing casually. Gets OT every round. They dropped the game. They lost a customer because the OT was checked multiple times. And what can the player do? Oh, just PG it, bro. Just have a PG. Oh, why did you just guard the Vanguard? You know? Why did you just have 2 PGs? Why did you check a heal, bro? All these defenses, the arguments to defending the overtrigger is just no. They don't have any substance to them. There's no facts to them. There's no proof or anything to them. They're only it's a toxic thing that is plaguing standard. Is making premium worse. The only out to premium is that you have G guards that can sometimes block out the bullcrap. But with standard, when the game is not as fast as premium or game changing as premium, every little decision counts. Triggers matter a lot more. Sure, you get sacked out of one game because they check multiple triggers, but when the over trigger is checked, unless you just naturally had 2 PGs or 3 PGs, or it happened in the beginning of the game where it doesn't matter, or you're not going against Dark Skates or Lyrical, the OT is going to ruin you if it's checked offensively, or even defensively, it just ends your turn. Like, yeah, we've been saying this forever because that's the truth. And I don't know, like, honestly, I don't know how people feel about the over trigger in Japan, or how they can keep playing the game in Japan and not get tired of the over trigger ruining their plays. Like, I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple times where, like, they're trying to get these new promos, right? that you can only get by winning a shop challenge. These very good, expensive promos that, you know, change decks because they want people to play their game. Oh, I'm going to win. This is the final round. Defensive OT. Clapback loses. Wow, I lost. I worked so hard to get to this point, to get this promo. It gets shut down by an OT. Very fun, Bushy. I got hit by Lyrical OT turn 2. Here's the thing, though. In Orange's tournament, when she did the Orange Peel tournament, I hit OT multiple times and I lost just because the deck was bad. But imagine if I was playing a good deck. Imagine I brought Laurel one day and said, okay, I just hit those OTs. Well, I guess I win because there's no way you have enough hand size to guard all those attacks. Or Kyrie. Like, hell, I could have probably brought Clarissa and won if I hit those OTs at the right moment. And, like, people defending it saying, oh, it's supposed to be a combat mechanic for the new players. That's what heals are for the game for. We all signed up for Vanguard knowing we're going to get, your opponent's going to get a 6 damage heal and you might lose. Or your opponent's going to hit double crit when you say no guard at 3 damage. That's what we signed up for Vanguard for. That's going to happen. But the fact that the OT is an extra heal, 100 million power or 200 million power or whatever the hell the OT is for Stoic KO or whatever. It's just a big ass number that you cannot guard unless you have PGs in your hand ready or you cycle it, which that's not a thing in standard yet. And it's a turn ender and a game ender. And like I said, newcomers that come into the game gets by these OTs, they might not want to play anymore. They'll just probably play Pokemon or go back to Yu-Gi-Oh or something. I don't know where they came from. They probably never play card games. Like, I love Vanguard, but I don't want people to come into the game, get stopped by the OT and not play again. And recommending V is not I mean, it's an option, but they want to play the new format. That's the point. Like, people want to play standard. Like, I'm playing standard now. I'm starting to get into standard. But before I didn't play because this was a deck for me. But people who want to play standard, like, there's a lot of people who might want to play standard. But the OT exists and it's preventing sales, it's preventing enjoyment, and it's making the community, well, I don't know about Japan. Outside of Japan, a lot more toxic towards the overtrigger. I always say that the heal of OT is the biggest thing I like as a 5th heal. That's okay. I like the 5th heal aspect, but the 100 million power defensively just ends your turn, and it's like you did no damage that turn. That's the only thing I like. In the 50k shield, that's the only thing. And like, I usually not this heated, but it's kind of like at the point that I'm just tired of the OT in the game overall. And every single time they print a new over trigger, like vanilla over trigger with art, I'm like, Bushy, please stop. Just stop doing this. This is not helping your game. We knew OT was outrageous. We did, but we didn't know how egregious it was going to be. Like, I don't, like, a lot of people probably thought, oh, this is just the worst mechanic ever. But me, I wasn't sure about it because I never, like, tested with the over trigger. It was mainly only a premium. Not just some of the effects are ridiculous. Basically, the Dark States one is just, you want Force 1 to Force 2? Would you like it for the rest of the game? Thanks. The Dragon Empire one is not as, like, strong, or the Keter one, but man, hitting now on Bastion Grade 4, you feel like a god. Man, I just restilled with Overlord. Want to do it again? How does early Zen with the OT and feel now? We use OT. They still feel the same, but I feel worse now. Like, at first, it felt awful, but now it feels worse because they keep printing better cards to go with the OT. Like, 10k to all rears for the rest of the game. Double power, resetting Vanguard with no decreased drive, checking rears. All triggers in one. Like, yeah. Like, the card I just do not like. I don't like the card at all. It just needs to go. And the reason why they're not going to do anything for it in standard is because there's too much product that has it in there, right? They reprinted the Overtrigger, but they have too many starter decks that have the Overtrigger in it. So they'll have to A, errata it, which is just already messy. B, they can ban it, but they have to print more trial decks, which means more ride lines that they have to make. Or what they could do, yeah, I know, the errata will never happen. Or what they could do is reissue those starter decks, but without the OT. But they add, like, I don't know, like, they could do a new mechanic that isn't Bus's OT, or they could just add, like, oh, you get, like, maybe one draw PG, I mean, not draw PG, one of the Sentinels from the set, so you get one in each starter deck or something. And then they can just axe the old product, and then people just buy the new ones because they had the OT in it and no one wants to buy that. Yeah, we say this, but yeah, I mean, I don't think they're ever going to remove the OT. And then it's just going to be to a point where, I don't know, like I said, I don't know about Japan, but it's going to be to a point where the West and other people just stop playing standard because they're tired of OT. Which, that would never happen, but, like, the fact that VIA is slowly dying over there, if VIA is a lot more prevalent here, because people do not want to play with the Overtrigger. So we play a lot more of the format and know the problems. Also, just how tournament structure is different over there. So that's why you have stuff like Steam is popping up a lot. Because they don't play V, they play D. And they're starting to get into premium. I don't think it's just that. I mean, there's other factors too. But all I'm saying is that I don't think OT will ever be removed from standard. Unless they're just ready to see what happens when they just remove it. Just because they like it over nations. That as well too. Like, I'll stay here. Nations overall, I don't know. Like, we've been with clans for 10 years. And this is like 1 year with nations. I think we just need to get a bit more justice to it. Such as when the next generation begins, they'll get out OTs. Until 2024? Probably. I mean, that's an option, right? They could get out OTs, they have enough ride lines, enough support. They could gut them and do a new mechanic that isn't as awful. But, like with the nations versus clans thing, V is stale. Because they only released 3 new cards. We need like 6 cards. They like, I love the reprints that they do in the sets. I love them. But we need more cards in V. Like, I feel like if we ever start with all, plus it should also be clamship, they will help to move certain cards to premium. If we start with all in most nations, I mean, that's true. It will help it in premium. But overall, I think, like, I don't know. Like, my overall feeling with nations is that, like, at this point, they're just gonna print, like, what most people wanted in the beginning was generic cards. They're starting to print generic cards, but now they're gonna be slapped on triple Rs. They're gonna start costing like, well, I hope we don't see a day if we get a Yuka price of $50 for a triple R. Yuka's made sense because it was WGP weekend and the set just dropped, and that was the most generic card in the set. But oh, a counter card, I see. But like, they're gonna start printing just more generic cards, honestly. And I'm not sure. I mean, I like that, but I'm not sure how I feel about making always the triple R a generic card. When, I mean, they can make some generic cards in like lower rarities, but that's how they support their decks now. Like, you can support your Flagberg with a common. It's good. It should be a double R, but we're making it common because we have no more space, and we need to make generic triple Rs that are good and stuff like that. Oh sure, I'll clip it out. The stream will be uploaded after this, so if you want, you can actually clip it if you want, but I'll clip it for you. But yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on the OT and a little bit of the nations. How long? It's been almost 2 hours. No problem. So, I mean, I get, okay, so, okay, I do wanted to talk about, V just for a little bit, because, we finally got the list to, the 4th place, Lupina Melody list. Thank you, Fuzzy, for, you know, you posting these lists, these toppings, and on the regions. It really helps the community out. So, we had a Lupina Melody list, and I watched Jaime's video on the interviewer, Zenville's Lupina. I'm not buying Karo Sonata, not yet anyway. So we have the actual list of the player who topped. So I learned a lot from the video actually, about the player. So the main goal of the deck, replace Standard Man but Mordred style. So call your Sonata Karos, your grade 2 Sonatas, build a big board, restand, force 2, Unga Munga. That's essentially the deck. So he said, so wait, let me start off with his triggers. So he played 12 crit because if he had a draw PG, he could guard his attacks, like all the attacks normally, right? But if he had a draw PG, he had to discard his melody units sometimes, and that would just kill his 1 card. So he played the Crescents because it's 1 card guard, doesn't use melody units, and he can still do his game plan. Nice. Play foils because, of course, it's the Heal Guardian. You need those to survive. So, of course, he played a Lupina package to be able to search Lupina because you need to search Lupina. He played 2 Senda to be able to search Lupina. 1 Meep just to get melody units, which is key to, you know, the 1 card of the deck. So, he said he played Saria because it will give him the melody units that he needed, as well as searching for Lupina. And, Dagny, he said he played her when he needed to play Force 1. So he gave Lupina 2 crit. So his conditions were if 1 attack, right? Let's say like the Sonata. If she could be a base like 33 or 35k attacker by herself, then he will go Force 2. If not, he'll go Force 1. And if you want Force 1, he makes sure his Dagny is on that circle, so he can give Lupina a crit. So he's always swinging to crit. Then he said his main goal is to get your opponent to 2 damage, and then, you know, make your Exodia Standard Man board. They both have Force 2s, and if your opponent takes 2 hits, they die. Or well, they should die in theory, which most of the case he always did that from the video. Now I'm still not sure why he played this. Luzeros, if you have 2 force markers, she gets 5k power, 5k shield, and if you have 3 force markers, she get intercepted instead for the back row. So Luzeros was extra shield, I assume, for when he went first. If you went second, it's just a 10k shield, which is kind of OP. But other than that, it's a simple list. You ride Lupina or you die. You don't ever want to ride Kara or Sonata. You have good filtering. You have good searching. I think you say you lost to a Gurgit, a Steam Maiden, and yeah, I think you only lost 2. Those are the only 2 matches that he lost to. So, congrats to him. And yeah, I think that's all I have planned for this part of this stream. I want to talk about the Lupina build, and I wanted to talk about the ban list, the OT thing. I should have said OT instead of Vanguard drama, but oh well. We live and we learn, right? So I could play CFA if any one of you guys are up for it, but I'm not opposed to doing something else relating to Vanguard, honestly. But I did want to play CFA. Actually, I could probably play CFA. Let me see. I could do a stream on Saturday or tomorrow with CFA. Since I just came back and my throat is starting to get a little bit raspy. Besides, the whole stream can be dedicated to CFA for you guys. I will be streaming on YouTube. I don't think I'll be streaming on Twitch anymore, just because I actually get more interaction here. So far, there's not a lot of people, but that's just because it's YouTube for right now. But I think there's. Hold on. Oh, wait. There is something I want to talk about. I need to get the card. Go to my Discord. Okay, here we go. Let me pull up my server. Okay, there we go. There we go. So, this stream with the Thursday stream with Nag, we got an order for Michu. So, Light Shining on Loneliness. So it's a normal order. You can only play this if you have a Michu Vanguard, and you perform one of the following. You can either search your deck up to one Nukino card. Nukino in this card name. Discard it and shuffle your deck. Or if you have a rear guard with Nukino in this card name, you counter charge 1. If you have it in your center back row, you counter charge 1. So Nukino is she's a triple R for Michu that allows you to get extra Vanguard attack. So this card is actually pretty handy because the deck does have some tech slots. It's not as strong as I thought it would be. Like, you know, Ava's definitely defining and changing the deck. This will just add more consistency in either your counterblast. So some people are, the server I was in was memeing about, but now we can play Melty and not use up so much counterblast. So you can use her with Melty to CC more, or any other odd card you want to play that draws or something like that. But this is a Nukino searcher, which there are times where you don't have her in your drop zone. Play this order and you instantly get her. So you're training one for a Vanguard of Restance and calls itself. So essentially, like, discard this superior call itself if you play the cannonball. So I like this. This is a very good promo. I don't think it's deck defining, but it's a good like 2 of card or 3 of card if you want to. It is not instant 4 of, So, and plus Michu is pretty solid even without it. But this just adds a little bit more consistency, which we like to see. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to talk about for this stream, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about for the stream. So what I'll do tomorrow, I'll stream CFA, or I'll end up doing something else. I'll stream Cardfight on here on YouTube, and I will probably. I'm still gonna play some lyrical decks, but I'm gonna try some other decks this time. I know I tested Leticia before. I'm gonna do something else. I'll probably play like the giant line. I definitely need to play Michu because I really want to play Michu, and I might play Medio too. So if you guys have CFA, you can fight me on the stream with any nation, any deck. Just play standard because I'm not playing V or not playing premium. And then probably sometime in the future I'll probably do like a premium talking stream. V is a bit stale since we didn't really get that much for lyrical, but I'm always down to talking and just playing. So I want to say thank you for everyone coming to the first stream of my YouTube channel. I streamed before in the past, but that was old Zen, not new Zen. Old Zen, he's cringe. New Zen is here. I actually know what I'm doing this time, and just I have a better mic, better everything. So I'm so glad that you guys stayed for the stream. And anyone that listens in the future, you go hit the subscribe button. It really helps. Hit the like button, follow, share. I'm returning back to streaming, and I'll be doing the best that I can to provide you guys with the best content that I can. For video making, I'm still reviewing my stuff. I still want to make quality videos for you guys and not to make bad videos. So hopefully sometime next week, maybe after I get done reviewing my stuff and decide where I want to go with my content, I will let you guys know, and I'll start uploading them. So who knows, if you play CFA with me, you might be even on the video. So with that being said, I'm Zenario, and I'm signing off.